What you doing? I'm your Otakutainer, the theacstories with this Otakutainment reviews. I'm talking about a manga called Me the Mumbie. This is volume 1 by Gabriel A. Morrissette, or Gabby Slap Punch Visuals. It's a manga that came out in 2024, originally in black and white, but eventually got the full color treatment, and then put back out in 2025 from what I can see on Manga Plus Creators, so you can go find it there if you want to read it. It's 281 pages in total, including all the credits and like read this way, all that stuff, which is about 6 to 7 chapters. I'll get to that in a bit, depending on how you look at it, with 2 chapters already out of volume 2. So let's look at this summary. Trial waking up to a world 7 years after the zombie war, and with no recollection of who you are or what you are. Half mummy, half zombie, that's a Mumbie, and a breed of humans, accelerated super soldiers that have evolved in order to survive. Join Mumbie, our protagonist, and his friends on this action, comedy, adventure, fantasy drama to get back his memories. I'll do anything to get back my memory, and no one is gonna stop me. Okay, I won't go ahead and say this series. It's not like outrageously funny. It's not trying to like force comedy every second. It does have an overall nice comedic tone to it. One that works with me. Some of it is pretty obvious and it works too, like Accelerator, Super Soldier, Ass, and some of the other names and how the initials work. But yeah, Mumbie, I don't know. Looking at this, I've been getting ready to read this for a while. It never occurred to me Mumbie was mummy and zombie. It never occurred to me that the whole thing was about zombies, because I never read the summary until right before reading this whole thing. But yeah, that's an interesting take, and it makes so much sense how I've never seen a mummy zombie, because they're almost the same thing in how they would act. I mean, classic me just thinks of like Scooby-Doo kind of mummy, and then also Scooby-Doo kind of zombies, and just zombies in it. I love zombies. I used to have a whole just zombie review series, I guess, when I first started this channel. So I can't believe I didn't realize it was zombies until the thing. I just thought it was like another, like, oh, here's some superpowers, but it's not really like that. I mean, yeah, they have powers, but it's not so stereotypical as that. So overall, yeah, we're going to follow Mumbie. The structure of this, it really, of course, inspired by like a volume of manga and how it's set up. I'll say it doesn't have the most conclusive ending, but if you're going through the mindset of being like, oh, there's this set number of pages that fits this amount of chapters, this is going to be the volume, then we'll do it more and more. So I feel like it's at least, I don't know, I don't know how this is put together, but that's what it seems like, because the ending isn't conclusive. It seems like it's just going to keep going into volume 2. Good thing there's already 2 chapters out. So don't think of it as a standalone book. Now, this story is also, it's pretty action-packed. Most of it is fighting. Once you get through this kind of longer beginning chapter, it kind of really just flies by, but not at a quick pace. I normally complain a lot about like, oh, the pace is too fast. This pace actually makes sense. The fighting isn't so one-sided and all of a sudden like, oh, okay, you just suddenly win. Woo! I like the fighting pace. The art, it doesn't look the most polished, yeah, but it is unique and it's consistent, which is what I care about most. The backgrounds are kind of simple, but the character art is easily recognizable. You're able to distinguish characters, which sometimes, for some reason, isn't always a thing. And then I will say, you see the main character who's supposed to be a mummy zombie, and it gets mentioned a lot. And this is probably my biggest problem with the art. And maybe it's because it's just not what it actually is, if I'm thinking about it. Mumbie has a bite mark, or supposed to be a bite mark on it. I didn't know that was a bite mark. It kept getting brought up, and I was like, it doesn't look like a bite mark. Honestly, it looks more like just a mouth. It looks like somebody drew a mouth on someone's forehead. I don't know. Now, along with the other things about art, the panels are big, bigger than I realized. I don't know. It's like, are they really? The page seems the same, but I think it's because everything is just so clearly distinguishable. Like, I say it's not the most polished art, but everything is very easily recognizable, and you can see where everything is. But also, this helps with the action, and it makes it seem like the dialogue isn't too heavy. There is like a good bit of talking, but I don't know, there's something about it that's just like tweaked to where it all works, and I can't quite put my finger on why. But I will also say the non-action scenes, because the action scenes flow really well, the non-action scenes seem kind of stiff. When you're just seeing a character talking, it just looks stiff. Then it kind of goes to the next slide, is how I was saying. It almost seems like a slideshow. Next panel, it's just, okay. Next one, maybe it's because it's like a zombie world, a mummy world, and they're kind of, I don't know. But that is kind of stiff, which is weird because the art flows. And then there's one other thing. And it doesn't happen a lot. It does kind of in the first chapter, but there's like a unique chibi-like style to the characters get that works just how it does in manga. Like more of these kind of like comedic kind of almost cutesy comedic moments. I really like that too. Okay, let's jump into the actual me going into each chapter. I'll probably do this chapter by chapter. Like I said, it's like 6 to 7 chapters depending on how you look at it. If you haven't read it yet, wait, because I'm going to be spoiling a lot of stuff. But starting with the prologue, also part of chapter 1, is March 8th, 2020. We see an old person get bit or face pretty much ripped off by a zombie. Old person, a lot of people thought it was just a prank. Well, prank that went too far if it is. It's a long prank. And then this goes right into chapter 1. Weirdly, chapter 1's page or title page is the last page of the prologue. Kind of weird, but I get it looks cooler than just starting on the actual first page of chapter 1. So this chapter 1, he's a zombie. It's been 7 years. The zombie war is over. I don't know if it's all humans, but from what you see, most of the humans you meet have evolved powers. And then we meet, of course, the main character Mumbie, the mummy zombie working for FU, a peacekeeping organization. And I don't know if I just missed it. I went back and looked. But I feel like we don't actually find out what FU stands for until the very end. I don't know if it has some kind of significance. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's Forsaken Unity. And I'll also say, sometimes it's easy to miss names in this. And there's some that just don't have names. Because I kept double checking. I might just miss it. I kept feeling like I've just missed names. But usually they get nicknames, especially from Mumbie. It likes to give nicknames. Anyways, Mumbie fighting an ass, an accelerated super soldier who is nicknamed Breadhead. We don't, unless I miss it, don't get the actual name of this person, but it's robbing bank, using fire. And even though Mumbie is there to help, people still hate Mumbie for being part zombie, even though being part of FU. I love these things. It's so funny. And it's just, it flows well. It's not like it's trying to just pop out and be like, ha, I said FU, I said ass. It works with the thing. And it works because it's usually from Mumbie saying it. So it works with that kind of humorous tone Mumbie has. Anyways, so the people hate Mumbie so much they're asking the bank robber for help. Now, there's a lot of fighting. I already said it never feels too one-sided. And then, oh, well, okay, suddenly good guy wins. It's never like, oh, good guy's finally beat down. Oh, no, you win it. Everything feels well balanced, and it's nice because, oh, am I sick of that? Especially first chapter when you're like, oh, there you go, one hit down. It's like, so Mumbie strong, but not like overpowered, because I'm overpowered is boring. And then we meet Poland, who jumps into the fight. I don't know Poland's exact powers. We see in this chapter, I think the only time we see fire, and then later we see water, but there's like the rainbow. The Mumbie calls Poland like Rainbow Head. So I'm thinking it's 4 elements and there's going to be more from Poland. And then Mai, who is just there for now, joins the fight against Breadhead, causes Breadhead to flee. Then Mumbie tracks Breadhead down. Then there's a Breadhead flashback about getting powers because was surrounded by zombies and it's kind of forced. And it's like, cool. Then Poland jumps back up, or pops back up, beats Breadhead. That's it. And then right before, that beating, Poland and Mai are talking about Mai being the doctor that found the cure. Okay, that's kind of just dropped in there a bit, not elaborated on at all for the rest of this, unfortunately. But now it looks like Poland wants to fight and / contain Mumbie because it's like, oh, Mumbie has wild eyes, things are going to get bad. And then that's where it's cut. Not for chapter 2, for chapter 1 part 2, and that's why I'm not exactly sure why it happened. It could have been a very long, like almost 100-page, almost half of the. I get why it was cut. It would have been almost half of the volume just for this one chapter. But why not just make it chapter 2? It's a clean enough cut that could have just been chapter 2. Anyway, so Poland and Mumbie fight. And another decent fight until Dick, and this one just DIC. I don't remember if it was ever said what Dick was. It may have, I just missed it. So, but Dick slash Jake pops up, stops them, uses giant stone arms to grab him, pull him down. We also see Mai's power is like a pink aura. At first, I didn't know what it was. Later, it said it's like healing power because Mai thinks they've been turned into stone, so just like kind of using the power on them to turn out back out of stone. But it's fine. They're fine. Also, I don't know who Jake is. You just see bubbles that say Jake, and then speech. The bubble is never over anyone consistently, so I'm thinking it's the biggest one of them because that I don't know, makes the most sense. Also, Poland seems to have history with one of them. That might be Jake. We don't get the names of all of them. I don't know. But Dick has also gathered a breadhead because, of course, it seems like Poland and Mumbie have this kind of like rival friendship going on. Maybe more rival than anything, like the caring rival type, because they just want to butt heads. But yeah, so while that's happening, Breadhead was getting away, but Dick got him. And then took them on to the FU headquarters. It's so funny to talk about. I don't know, I got a child sense of humor, I guess. Then Mumbie is restrained and it's like, hey, don't do that again, or else. Okay. But Mumbie was like, yeah, no, I was still in control. It was when we started a fight. It does seem like Mumbie was completely in control. At first, when I saw it, I was like, that doesn't make sense. Why are they so worked up? Mumbie seems fine. It doesn't seem crazy. Yeah, even Mumbie's like, yeah, no, I was in control. Poland started the fight. I don't know. It feels like they both went at it at the same time. But, yeah, Poland has a history with this one since they were kids. It seems like this good group is trying to be so antagonistic that, but still wants to be good. Like the I don't know, the best or worst, the meanest good guys. That intentional route, like the kind of Vegeta or Bakugo type. We'll see, but we don't see them again yet. I don't know where they went. And then they go to Mumbie's home. It seems like it's all their home because they're kind of just all together. We get a Poland flashback of sibling dying. It was quick. These flashbacks, they're all like flashback starts. Very short. I like that. You don't understand how much I appreciate the flashbacks being short. Now, I will say, we don't see much in this flashback, so it does feel a little pointless. But flashbacks should not be long. I don't like long flashbacks. A chapter of flashback is, depending on how it's done, maybe okay, but probably not. I like these just a few panels of flashback, even if it doesn't really say much. And then we get a Mumbie flashback of 5 months ago. It's apparently only been 5 months for Mumbie. First waking up, no memory. There's some Power Rangers looking people. They don't know how Mumbie is. They're just woke Mumbie for some reason. I don't think we get much from that either. And then there's news that someone killed the king of New City. And then someone else killed a reporter, because why not? And this person wants there to be no more hiding behind others. It's no, I don't know, pity for the weak, stuff like that. So chapter 2, New World Order. Mumbie, Pola, and Mai get orders from FU to go take care of this. Mumbie fights the reporter killer, who uses, like, shapes the ground and uses smoke screen, wears, like, a mask to cover, I don't know, gas mask, I think is what Mumbie nicknames this person, just to save some random person. And in the end, Donuted, pretty much puts a very common thing in this, putting holes in people. I guess going with that trope of making a donut of someone. I don't know. And then the save person actually wants to follow Mumbie. I was like, oh, here we go, another person that's just going to hate Mumbie. No, this person actually overly appreciates Mumbie saving him. And then while this is going on, it actually cuts back and forth between Mumbie fighting this person, then Poland and Mai going to the main baddie, the one who was on the news, and who we don't get a name of. I don't think. I just call him Will-O-Wisp, Blue Will-O-Wisp. Some of these like little blue fiery demon looking things, and they fight some, but it's mainly just talking. And eventually there's like an ultimatum this person gives Poland, which is Poland can either kill Mai and then join and then kill everyone else, or that person will kill Mai and then everyone else and then save Poland for last. So Mumbie finally reaches them and sees Poland decapitating Mai. It's like, oh no, it must be a trick, right? Well, about that. So when we start chapter 3, it turns out it doesn't seem to be a trick. It seems like it actually happened, and then Poland donuts Mumbie. And then we cut 6 months. The person that Mumbie saved ends up saving Mumbie, drags Mumbie out of the city all the way, goes to a place with some big trees with holes in them. We get a little flashback of that. And I still don't know why this person's so obsessed. We never really get that explanation. Is it just because Mumbie saved this person who is named Alma? That's it. That's pretty much the whole chapter. We see some little weird alien looking thing flying away, flying us into chapter 4. Beware of the cloth demon. Beware of this little alien thing. Flies into that wherever they're sleeping at. It seems to become like a pet. I thought it was just going to be, oh, here's you, a random sidekick pet now. Okay. And then they go to Cloth Village, where Mumbie is assaulted by a hot dog vendor person, but literally taking a hot dog and just like, yeah. This is some of the comedic things. So it's not just like outright over the top funny, but it's like these weird things. It's like, cool. Okay. Anyways, then there's a cloth demon, the one who's been like running this town or in place of the blue will-o-wisp person. And the cloth demon wants this sylph, and the alien thing, it turns out, is like some kind of wind sylph this whole time. Escaped the cloth demon earlier, but a lot of the villagers like, oh no, you're not wearing the right clothes, blah 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 blah. The cloth demon's gonna get you. Cloth demon never mentions what they're wearing. It doesn't matter to the cloth demon. It just wants the sylph. But yeah, merges with the houses, also made of cloth, fights Mumbie, and then Mumbie seems to pull out like a hidden power, thinking back on Poland and the flames of the tiger's fist, and uses something like that instead for smiley face punches. I thought it was just something being cute. No, apparently their smiley faces are important, but the fight isn't over yet. Instead we get like the silhouette of an elf at the end. As we go into chapter 5, Clues of My Memories. This elf is named Melody, uses headphones to cover her ears. I don't know if all the elves are going to be music related. We do find like the grandparent elf who later named Rhythm, but those are the only 2 names we get. I don't know. But yeah, Mumbie is drawn into a smiley memory world, just like the punches. That's actually pointed out, so it's not just something cute. It actually is something important, but still doesn't get much yet. Just like, oh, well, here's the space. Okay, now get. Yeah, Mumbie's back to the village, getting attacked by a cloth demon, but then, before things can escalate anymore, Melody grabs Mumbie, pulls through a portal, takes to Tika Elf Village, where apparently the sylph is from. Is, I guess, revered like a goddess, at least compared to Grand P Rhythm. I don't know. We don't get a whole lot of details yet. And then the will-o-wisp then the cloth demon has to go back to the will-o-wisp person. And Poland tells what happens. Poland kind of just figures it out. Oh yeah, the elves. That must be them. And we don't get anything else from that. And then it ends with someone, and I don't know who it's supposed to be. The clothes don't match anyone else. I try to pay attention, so I don't know who it is. But it's getting a note from FU, which is where we learn it's Forsaken Unity, needing help. Cliffhanger there. And then we go into the last chapter, chapter 6, Magic or Proficiency. Apparently Melody wasn't supposed to bring people from Earth, whatever. Rhythm is like, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, they saved you, Sith. Okay, never mind, I'm sorry. Blah, blah. Doesn't seem to really apologize to the others, but, or Melly. And then, almost half, no, maybe not half, a good portion of this chapter is just getting a lot of new drip for Mumbie, Alma, and Melody, because apparently Alma's just poor, not unstylish. Also, drip is defined, which I don't feel like was needed. I know it's like more of a slang, trendy term now. It was weird because it kind of has that, it's not like overly like slang heavy, but I didn't feel like it was needed. It was just stuck out to me. But yeah, they all get a new fit. It's fit, drip, whatever. And it took longer than I would have thought it needed to be, because then it goes right into Rhythm giving lessons on like history lesson. This is where it kind of, you gotta kind of pay attention. And it was the history of like where ore came from with humans and stuff like that, and how there was like two Earths, and there was, they didn't know, or there was powers, or there's like the good or life, and then there's death or the shadow realm or something like that. It's kind of, it makes sense enough, but going just right into this, it's like, oh, okay. And it's literally like, I don't know, the art's fine. It's like one page, one bubble, next page, one bubble, something like that. But yeah, two Earths. Some humans on like the light side are made of dirt, but then like the death side, they are made from shadows, so they're stronger. They get magic quicker, but the other side needed more time to evolve. I guess they did eventually, but the shadow didn't want to wait, so then it was attacked, and then half of Earth's soul came out. It is kind of weird. I feel like this is something that's going to get talked about more. You go more into it as the story progresses, because it's really just a lore dump at this point. And then Smiley drags Mumbie back into the memory realm, reveals that Smiley is the remain of Earth's soul, and is about to be like, oh, I can tell you more now, and your name is Censor. We still don't know Mumbie's name, and that's where it ends. Kind of a very abrupt ending. I guess it's fitting. It depends on where the next chapter starts to see where it is, but as far as like in 4 volume, kind of abrupt. That is it for this first volume of Me the Mumbie. I really like the pacing. I like the humor. Sometimes I feel like maybe I'm missing something, or it just isn't completely clear, words wise, where on the opposite, the art is pretty clear. Maybe not, like I said, the most polished, but it works with everything you need to get done. But yeah, that's all I have to say. If you have already read this or want to read this, go ahead, let's talk about it more. Leave a comment, find me on social media, theacstories, or email me, theacstories@gmail.com, or join my Discord. We talk about all kinds of stuff there. But that is going to be it. Thank you, anyone who watched this and who's going to check out Me the Mumbie. Also, thank you, my Ko-fi and Patreon supporters, Fix Lab and Julio Vasquez. If you also want to help support me on them, you don't have to. I appreciate it either way. You get the shout outs, you get my notes for videos like this. You also get my stories that have weird coincidences in them. But yeah, that's going to be it for this Otakutainment reviews. I've been your Otakutainer, the AC Stories. Until next time, thank you so much again, and bye.